good morning to you. On Monday, I thought, right, see, I can't bad. I was looking forward to going to Tuesday was fantastic. Wednesday, it had rain. Thursday, it had rain. And I thought, wake up in the morning, everything's going to be all right. And it rained. And I thought, I'm glad I'm going home today. And that's all I can say about my holiday, folks. It was really, 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 really bad. And the food was really bad too. So I ended up getting my wife fish and chips. Well, my wife got me some fish and chips. She went on her scooter, hoovered all the way up to the fish and chip shop, which was like about a mile up the road, while I had a peace and quiet time, and she came back with nice fish and chips. So we sat there, had fish and chips. Then we went to bed and we was watching the clock all night, hoping that time would come to go home. It was
Oh, no.
Anyway, folks, don't forget. Thanks for Martin just now for doing the 60 show. But now we've got one of our guests, and Gina, how are you?
Well, yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. As I mentioned earlier, I have got a little bit of yeah, no, a little bit of an illness. So I've been tested positive for COVID, and I'm feeling a little bit off, I would say, but I'm not
Right,
feeling too
okay,
bad, to be honest. So I
okay,
hopefully it's going to carry on in this vein, and I get a nice light dose of it, just enough to give me immunity and move on.
right, okay, good, good. I hope you get better soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I was kind of like looking at your website earlier, and I thought, wow, because I've looked at it loads of times so far, and because because you still got the condition anyway, multiple sclerosis, didn't you?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. What's it like? Because last time I spoke to you, we there was a different audience and everything, and we got new people coming in now. So, What's it like to have multiple sclerosis?
Well, to be honest, I think this COVID has given it a bit of a relapse. So anybody who doesn't know about multiple sclerosis, what it is, it's the damage to the myelin, and what the myelin is the protective sheath around our nerves. So if you imagine all our nerves, which are signals going from the head down the spinal column to all the various dips of our body, saying leg move, arm move, and all this sort of stuff. If you imagine that those nerves were like wires, like wires that you get into plugs. And what you've got around each of the wires are like a protective casing, haven't you? It's like a plastic casing. Well, that's like the myelin. And that's the bit that gets damaged. That's the bit that my own immune system is sort of getting confused about. So it means that some of those messages that are trying to go down the wires get interrupted because the myelin sheath isn't there, and it gets confused. So what it means for me is that my balance is a little bit off. Well, quite a lot off sometimes. It also means that my legs feel heavy, and what it feels like to me is almost like I'm wearing gravity pants. So every time I try to lift my leg, it's like, whoa, I can lift it, but I have to put a lot of conscious effort into lifting it. And if I don't put a lot of conscious effort in, it's quite easy to trip and fall because your leg doesn't lift high enough.
What's that like with What's that like with your every What's it like with everyday living? It must be tough for you.
Well, yeah, it makes things more challenging. Luckily, most of my work is involved sitting here talking to people, which doesn't, it doesn't affect me at all. I also, I have a few bladder issues as well, so I do go to the toilet a lot. Luckily, my toilet is literally just behind that door, so I haven't got to go very far. I suppose what it means is you have to think more carefully about, where you want to be going, and how much standing that's going to involve, because it's not like I can't walk. It just means that I can't walk with as much ease and fluidity as I used to be able to. And if you know anybody else who's got MS, there's the symptoms that people can get as such a variety. I feel, some people are really severely disabled, some people are blind, some people experience severe pain, and so there's lots of different, massive, great brain fog. Fatigue is another thing which some people get. So, it's one of those conditions that there's no, oh yeah, you've got MS, that must be what it's like. Because if you speak to anybody else, their experience will be different.
Okay. Let's move on a little bit. Explain to me about cloud clearing technique.
Cloud clear. Oh, thank you for asking that. Yeah, this is a little. I'm not sure if I've got the title right. I might tweak on that. But what my cloud clearing exercise is a short but very powerful exercise to get people from confusion. Really, the reason I called it cloud clearing is because in about sort of 20-25 minutes, I can take you from a place of particular problem that you're dealing with and you've got issues over and you're struggling with, just to allow you to get some more clarity and make you feel more positive about it. So it's
Yeah,
just a technique that I've created myself and seems to work.
yeah. Also, you say it's 100% success rate in
Yes.
making people happier.
Yes.
Then I was seeing here, it says from being scared, frustrated, confused, to positive, proud, and happy.
Yes. Well,
You
maybe
know,
we'll have to book another session and I'll do one with you, Steve, and you can then let people know what it's really like.
yeah, I definitely will. I'll book in a session with you, and we will definitely do that. And and so, what do you actually do then? Do you kind of like get somebody in a calm space, or what do you actually do?
Well, I think that's a lot to do with it, because whenever we're living with a diagnosis or living with symptoms that we don't like, and you'll know yourself, when you get given a diagnosis, it comes along with a whole load of fear. I
Yeah,
mean, certainly my experience of being diagnosed, although mine was quite gentle compared to how some I've heard, I was told that I'd got an incurable disease. I was told that it was likely to get worse, and I was told that there was nothing that I could do about it. So that is a pretty disempowering place to be sitting, isn't it? Where it's like, oh my God, my whole life that I thought is no longer. And you see the worst case scenarios of people taking themselves off to Switzerland because they can't bear their lives anymore and all this sort of stuff. So it's not a good place to be. So a lot of it is just calming that fear and getting your body out of stress. So yeah, I do a lot of meditation-y type work, a lot of breathing exercises and that type of thing, just to help people get into a calmer and more optimistic place, really.
what's it like? It's like kind of like being in the moment, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's the whole mindfulness thing, but that takes practice. So I'm actually starting a small group program tomorrow, actually, which we're just going to get together in a group. I'm going to show up every day live in a Facebook group to do some
Right.
meditations, to do some reminders of how to raise your vibrations. So for me, it's been a very spiritual journey, and I'm learning more about the spiritual path.
Well,
And
send me a link. I'm all for that.
yeah, okay, cool. I'll definitely send you a link through
Yeah,
and you can
send me
have
a
a
link.
look.
Um, where are you today in your journey? Because being kind of told that you have got MS and you're suffering with it and everything. What's it like today? Like, i.e., relationships, i.e., like everyday living.
Um, it's to be honest, it's up and down. On the whole, even though I've got MS and I don't walk very well, I consider myself a healthy person.
Right.
I eat well. I don't drink too much. I exercise as much as I can. I feel quite energized. So so it's a bit of a paradox, really, that I've got MS and I can't walk very well, and you see me walking about, I look, I do look like a little bit of a struggling person. But inside, I was sitting here talking to you, and it's like, we're talking about things that are going to help people, and that definitely brings me energy. And so I think my work has a lot to do with it. Developing a purpose, I think, is key, and I'm still working on that. I mean, I got diagnosed in 2009. I decided to move away from the medication route in about 2010, when my symptoms started getting a little bit worse and the medication that they were giving me didn't seem to be working anymore. And I started exploring my own, doing my own research. And I also realized what the things that I'd been told when I got diagnosed, i.e. that I've got an incurable disease, it's going to get worse and there's nothing I can do about it, isn't actually true for everybody.
No.
So, there are people out there that are living symptom-free without the use of meds. There are people living out there that have found their own route and not just living, not just surviving, they're really thriving. They're having a great life because they haven't let their condition sort of define them and let them stay stuck.
Yeah, and I see here it says it is possible to heal yourself. Being told that I had an incurable condition may have closed a lot of doors in front of me, but by getting really honest with myself, and see that's the trouble, isn't it? It's like until you're honest with yourself, and you can start healing, then, can't you?
Well, that's the thing, and that's what this little program is really doing. It's doing it. I've got a self audit of 33 areas of your life for you to get really honest with. And sometimes, getting honest is not an easy thing to do, not even with yourself, not even if you're not going to even speak it out. It's a hard thing to do, but definitely worth it, because
Yeah,
that's,
yeah,
like you say, that's where the magic appears, isn't it? That's where things start opening up, and you think, actually, yeah, I can do things different. I can look at that in a different way, or I can just change what I'm doing. There's so much in our environment that is totally within our control that we sometimes don't think about, because it's always been like that.
tell us the ABC of getting honest. Tell us
So
about that.
so this is, I was trying to think of a simple framework to allow people to go through. So the ABC is A for acceptance, and for me, acceptance is accepting that, this is exactly where I'm meant to be, with all its challenges, with all the things that aren't going right, with all the things that are going right. This is exactly where I'm meant to be. So if I can take this as a stepping board to where I'm going, then that is acceptance for me. A is also a bit of awareness as well, which is where the whole getting honest thing comes into it. So you've got a couple of A's really, but acceptance is the main one. Then you've got B for beliefs, and beliefs are just such a key thing, because if I had taken on my neurologist's beliefs, i.e. I've got an incurable disease, it was going to get worse and there was nothing I can do, then chances are I probably wouldn't have done anything. I would have just sat there and waited for myself to get more disabled, or somebody else to find a cure somewhere. So this way I'm looking, I'm searching, I'm exploring different beliefs. I'm thinking, well, if it's possible for somebody to heal, then it's possible for me to heal. And I'm just out there having a great time, meeting different people, connecting with different people that are already on this journey, and just trying my best to enjoy each moment is the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
And then the C then is for change, because there is a lot we can do, that we can change. We can do differently in our lives, what we eat, what we put onto our body, what we put into our body, who we hang out with, what we do, how much rest we have, how much exercise we have. All of that stuff is within our control. But sometimes making the change is, we quite often know what we need to be do to to be healthy, but doing it is another thing, isn't it? But if you work on the acceptance and the beliefs, then making the change becomes easier. So it just doesn't feel such a hard slog anymore.
What do you
That's the
say
way
about people? Sorry, what do you say about people who find it difficult to love themselves and to accept for what who they are? Because in life, sometimes people like they've probably been in a relationship and they've been told that they are a failure, they're a waste of space. What do you think about that?
Well, I think I'm glad you mentioned that, really, because the whole self-love piece, I think, underpins it all. Because if we're if we're in a relationship and that relationship is not being very kind to us, shall we say, and they're like pointing out our faults with us every day, and we've all got faults, we've all got things that we can improve on, but to develop a compassion for yourself and treating yourself like your own best friend. So I suppose what I would say to that would try and look at yourself as if you were your own best friend. If you've got a best friend that you have fun with and you enjoy their company and you want to spend time with them, if they do something wrong, do you have a go at them? No, most of the
No.
time you don't. Most of the time you're just like, it's okay, come and have a cuddle. We all make mistakes, all this type of thing. So to be able to speak like that to yourself, because how we talk to ourselves is often worse than we would ever speak to our worst enemy, let alone our best friend.
Yeah, yeah. And when you kind of like when you get your down moments, because I bet you do get quite a few actually.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with that? As as a person who kind of like tell other people to deal with things. How do you do it?
Well, and this is what this new programs are all about, really, is developing a self-care routine that works for you. So what tends to work for me is journaling. So I'm a bit of a journaler, and I'll write down give my fears a voice, is what I do. And actually, okay, what is it? If I'm feeling rubbish, it's because somewhere and I've got an underlying fear about something, whether it's my health, whether it's my financial position, or whatever it is going on in my life, there'll be something. So it's about digging a bit deeper and saying, okay, what is it I'm thinking about? And then just allowing your pen to flow a little bit. Well, if that's your fear, if you've got an inner wisdom as well, which I believe we all have, what's the wisdom saying about this situation? And that quite often is just enough just to shift the vibration a little bit and make me feel differently about it.
Okay.
Meditation is another one that I use a lot. Just going to bed sometimes, just having a sleep is enough to, because quite often it's because you're tired. Your body's trying to tell you something, especially if you're living with symptoms and a chronic illness of some kind. It's about learning to listen to your body, and that takes practice, and I'm still practicing.
How about healing? I'm looking at something now. Healing vibrations. What's that about?
Well, this is my new little program. So I'm running it every day in a group for about 40 days, where we're
Right.
going to work every day at. So it is a bit of a commitment, but you don't have to show up at the same time. You just have to listen in as much as you can. But this is about giving ideas for different things that can raise your vibrations. So when you raise your vibrations, you just feel more positive about things. You just see the world in a different way of, in a different way. It doesn't all have to be negative. Just because it's raining outside doesn't mean to say that's a bad thing. You put your rain mac on and go out and it actually feels quite nice. So it's that shift in perspective about things. But while we're raising the vibrations and we're doing that together as a group, we're also going to be looking at these 33 areas of your life to see, and it's just an audit at the moment. We're not making any changes. It's not like, let's go out and kick ass and change the world. Let's just do an honest audit of what's going on in your life. And as you're raising your vibrations at the same time as you are getting honest with your world, you'll start to see some easy changes that you can make that are likely to make a big difference.
if you wanted to change one thing about yourself, what would you change?
Oh God. I think if I could just change that fear that keeps popping back in, I have to keep journaling out. I wish it was just like not there, and every day was clear and focused, and I knew where I was going and what I was doing, and that's what I'm working towards. Really, having that and trusting that whatever challenges I'm going through at the moment, I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to grow from it, and it's yeah, life is good. It's that like underlying belief that life is good. I think that's the thing that I really want to change, and well, not change because I do believe that, but certainly promote it and have it more as an ongoing consistency within me.
Brilliant. Okay, so tell people about your program, how much, and how can they contact you?
Okay, so it is like I said, it is starting tomorrow. But tomorrow is to do the self audit. So I've got a self audit to give to people so they can go through. It doesn't take very long. It's just a quick, where are you in this area of your life on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being rubbish, 10 being fab. Then we are going to meet again on the 6th of October for I work a lot with moon energies as well. So we're going to have a new moon intention setting session where we can set intentions for the next 33 days really. And then every day I will be going live in a Facebook group. You can join me live or you can just catch up with the recording. And then once a week, we're going to have a Zoom question and answer group coaching session. So it's quite an immersive session. It's only quite quick fire. We're not going to change your life in 40 days. But what it will do is help raise your vibrations, give you a map, create your own map to your wellness. So that's what I talk about, a map to wellness. It is if you want to take part, it costs £300 for the whole session, and you'll probably get a few bonuses thrown in there as well because I sort of make it up as I go along. If anybody is interested in taking part and feels like £300 is just too much, I am firstly, I'm offering a full money back guarantee because my guarantee is that you will feel better and you will think that it is worth your money. If you do not feel better and you do not think it's worth your money, then I am 100% happy to refund you. Also, if anybody wants to join and is really struggling with £300, just come and talk to me because I don't want money to stand in the way of people feeling better, really. So what I'll do is I'll share the link to the landing page where people can get a bit more information about it. I think there's a link on there as well where you can set up a quick 20-minute chat with me, which is totally free of charge, and you will feel better as a result. Just having a chat sometimes is enough just to point you in the right direction and help you feel better.
Brilliant, very good. So, folks, if you're listening on the radio, don't forget, Gina's got his program and it starts tomorrow. So, if you want to go on it, contact me or Gina. You can either to contact me, you can either phone me 07956 and I will pass all the information on to Gina. Or you can contact her yourself on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
Also,
There's a lot of stuff on Facebook. You can get to know me a little bit better. You can join the free group I've got, which is managing MS naturally, where
yeah,
I've got some good content in there and stuff to help as well.
there you go, guys. So get on it, and you never know because when you start getting on a plan and try to find out about yourself more, I think the healing process and everything will be much better. I get stressed out a lot, and sometimes, and I get really down sometimes, and about my illness, and sometimes we do need picking up a bit now and again, don't we?
Definitely, and that's why I've sort of developed this as a group, because there'll be other people on there. It's quite an intimate group. It's not huge at the moment. I've only got 4 people sign up, so it's not going to be massive. But then what that does is it gives everybody in the groups support each other. They're all on a similar journey. It's not exactly the same challenges, but it's developing that compassion and that kindness, and by giving to others, you quite often give to yourself as well. I think the way we are as human beings, and you're a very giving person, Steve, that you'll probably do things for others that you won't necessarily do for yourself. So by sharing that in a community, it helps support you support, and you get supported, and it's just a beautiful thing, really.
It is, yeah. So, guys, don't forget, please support this because everything matters, and only time our people on here is when people who I really want on here, and I do really want to help, and that's why we have all these guests on, lovely guests to come on. So, thank you very much, Gina. I hope you get better soon.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's just I was taking my own advice, isn't it? Listening to my body and taking rest when I need it, and eating good food, and and thinking good thoughts.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to be thinking about good thoughts all the time,
Yeah,
and don't forget at the end of the day, you're doing really well. You kind of like even though you got MS, it's not stopping you for what you like doing. And some people when they got different illnesses and stuff like that, they give up on life, and but you're still battling through, and you know, uh, and that is really inspirational. So well done.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. I'll see you later on. In the meantime, take care. Bye bye.
Bye. Are we still live?